Hercules, the son of Zeus, a demigod blessed with unmatched strength. But his greatest battle was not against monsters or warriors, it was against fate itself. Cursed by Hera, the jealous queen of the gods, Hercules was driven into a madness so cruel that he slaughtered his own wife and children. When he awoke, the horror of his actions shattered him. Seeking redemption, he turned to the oracle of Delphi, who delivered a cruel decree. He must serve King Eurystheus and complete 12 impossible labors. These were no ordinary tasks. Each was designed to break him, to humiliate him, to remind him that despite his strength, he was still just a man. But Hercules was no ordinary man. His trials begin with the first 3 labors, facing a beast no weapon can harm, a serpent with infinite heads, and a chase that would last a year. This is the legend of Hercules. The first labor would prove that not even the gods could predict the strength of Hercules. His journey led him to the land of Nemea, where a beast of nightmares roamed, a lion so fierce and untouchable that its hide could not be pierced by any mortal weapon. It was said to be a creature of the gods themselves, its golden pelt shimmering with an unnatural, invulnerable sheen. Villagers spoke in hushed tones of the lion's terror. Its roar could shake the earth, its claws as sharp as spears, and its eyes burning with an ancient feral rage. None who had faced it returned, but Hercules was not afraid. Guided by his strength and courage, he ventured into the lion's domain, determined to prove that no force, beast or god, could defeat him. Armed only with his incredible might, he set out to find the creature's den. After days of searching, Hercules discovered the lion's lair in a dark, craggy cave. The beast waited for him, its massive form a shadow in the gloom. With a thunderous roar, it charged. Hercules dodged the first swipe of its claws, feeling the rush of air as the talons narrowly missed his face. The battle was relentless. The lion lashed out, its fangs like daggers, but Hercules did not retreat. He grappled with the beast, his strength meeting the lion's fury in a clash of titans. For hours they fought, Hercules using every ounce of his power to subdue the creature, locking his hands around its neck, forcing it to the ground. Then, with a final, earth-shattering twist, Hercules squeezed with all his might. The life drained from the lion as its monstrous form went limp in his grip, the beast's terrifying roar silenced forever. But the labor wasn't over. Hercules had to prove his triumph, and the lion's hide would serve as the proof. Using the lion's own claws, he skillfully skinned the beast, the sharp talons easily cutting through the enchanted fur. It was no simple task, but Hercules' will was unyielding. When the skin was finally stripped away, he wore it as armor, an indestructible shield against whatever lay ahead. The lion's pelt would become his symbol, a reminder that Hercules, even in the face of the impossible, could not be stopped. The second labor would take Hercules into the swamps of Lerna, where a creature so vile, so deadly, terrorized the land. The Ceryneian Hydra, a serpent-like beast, its many heads writhing like vipers, each one more venomous than the last. But the Hydra was no ordinary monster. For every head Hercules cut off, 2 more would grow in its place. It was a creature born of chaos, a seemingly endless force of destruction. With each strike, Hercules realized that slaying the beast would not be as simple as brute force. But what the Hydra did not anticipate was the cunning of Hercules. He was not alone in this fight. His nephew, Iolaus, stood by his side, watching the battle unfold. In a moment of brilliance, Iolaus saw the key to defeating the beast: fire. As Hercules continued to fight, Iolaus quickly set fire to a branch and rushed to the severed necks of the Hydra, using the flames to cauterize the wounds. Each time a head was removed, Iolaus sealed the stump with fire, preventing the Hydra from regenerating. Together they turned the tide. But the Hydra's final trick remained: the immortal head, a head so powerful that even death could not claim it. This head could not be severed, and its power could not be quelled by fire. So Hercules, determined to end the creature's reign of terror, used his strength and wits to trap the immortal head beneath a massive rock, sealing it away forever. To ensure no trace of the Hydra's venomous wrath would escape, Hercules dipped his arrows into the creature's toxic blood, making them lethal weapons that would strike fear into anyone who dared face him. The Ceryneian Hydra was defeated, but Hercules knew this victory would only fuel Eurystheus's desire to make the next labor even more dangerous. The third labor would take Hercules deep into the forests of Arcadia, where he was tasked with capturing the Ceryneian Hind, a creature so swift and elusive that it seemed almost a shadow of the forest itself. Its golden fur shimmered like sunlight, and its hooves were said to strike the earth like the wind. so fast, no mortal could ever hope to catch it. Even more sacred, it belonged to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, who held the creature in deep reverence. But for Hercules, no task was too great. He set off after the hind, knowing that capturing it alive would be no easy feat. The chase began, and it did not end quickly. For a year, Hercules pursued the elusive creature through dense forests, across rivers, and over mountains. Each time he came close, the hind would escape, darting away with an impossible speed, its golden coat barely aflash against the green backdrop. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, but Hercules' determination never wavered. His feet never faltered. His resolve never broke. Finally, after a relentless pursuit, Hercules cornered the Ceryneian Hind. With great care, he captured the creature, knowing that he could not harm it, for Artemis would never forgive him. The hind, despite its grace and strength, had no choice but to submit to Hercules' powerful hands. When Hercules returned with the hind, Eurystheus demanded that it be delivered to him, expecting the trophy to be kept as a prize, a symbol of Hercules' failure. But Hercules, clever as always, saw an opportunity for a different kind of victory. He tricked Eurystheus, convincing him that the hind was too sacred to be held captive and that it must be set free. Reluctantly, Eurystheus agreed. Hercules released the Ceryneian hind back into the wild, returning it to Artemis and preserving its sanctity. For the moment, Hercules had outwitted both the beast and the king. With the first 3 labors complete, Hercules had proven more than just his strength. He had shown his endurance, his cunning, and his ability to overcome even the most impossible challenges. But King Eurystheus was not impressed. He was terrified. Hercules was succeeding too easily, and that meant the next task would have to be even harder. What comes next? A filthy, never-ending mess, and an army of monstrous birds with razor-sharp feathers. Hercules' trials are only beginning. Stay tuned for episode 2.